Welcome, football fans, to the show that brings you all things football. I'm Quabs, he's Nene. This is Football Extreme. Nene, you know what we're about to talk about, the instant classic that happened on Monday in the Premier League. Chelsea
Yes,
versus Man City 4-4. That was crazy. What is your verdict?
that was crazy, man. And none of us expected that Chelsea, who were struggling the whole season, would score four against Man City. I think that was a big shocker.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was a big shock. I remember Sunday morning, I'm talking to my friend we're just talking about the game. And then I see my one Chelsea friend and I'm like, haha, your team's going to be lambs to the slaughter. And then he just walks away from me. Because everyone and their grandmother knows that City's on a roll. They're on top. And it's going to walk over Chelsea, who have been playing up and down of late, unpredictable. I mean, they did also just beat Spurs on last week Monday, but there was no way that they were going to do the same to City. So the fact that they came back from 1-0 down, it was 2-2 at halftime, and then they still came back after being behind 4-3 in the last couple of minutes. Tops Chelsea. Tops
Yeah.
Chelsea. Well done. Well done. That
Yeah.
was an
Yeah.
instant classic.
Yeah. But if you look at the results, they've been unlucky on some of the matches. Like the Arsenal match, they were unlucky there. They were all over Arsenal. And for them to draw that game, it was unfortunate. So they have had
Yeah.
some bad luck as well over the season. So, but it was nice for them to be able to come back after they were like literally down and out against City. Who
Yeah.
comes back against Man City? I mean, I think it was like
Who comes back
60,
against
I
City?
think it was like
Yeah.
68 games or something. If City score first, they don't lose. So the
Mm,
record is still maintained, but no one saw that these guys were gonna get a draw out of this, or even score 4 goals. So it was
yeah, or
a
even
good
score four
one.
goals. And yeah, definitely. And especially a team like, I bet you not even Chelsea fans at the beginning of the season knew their team. I mean, no, let's forget about Cole Palmer, who came from Man City, but all these other guys, Gustavo, Desasi, I didn't know these guys before the beginning of the season. Chelsea, I only knew what's his name, Raheem Sterling and Thiago Silva. Those are literally the only guys who are the standouts from before. Now we've got the Jacksons, we've got the Gustavos, you've got Disasi, you've got Caicedo. Now all of a sudden, in the last couple of weeks, Chelsea's team looks like it's been revived after that Spurs game that was also as helter skelter as this one. Now
Yeah.
Chelsea's team looks like they might be challenging top four. What do you think? Do you think after this week Chelsea's team might be looking a little bit more serious? That we must be looking at them more than in the previous weeks?
I think we can, but I'm not sure for top four as yet. But I think it's a turning point for them. And yeah, so it's gonna depend how they play in the next game. But I think for them, maybe a realistic target would be top six. If they can get to sixth
Top six.
or fifth. Yeah, but top four, this season is gonna be tough. You can see it's not gonna be a two-horse race like we normally see. And to be honest, all the teams at the top are not playing that great. Man City is not exactly, you
Mhm.
know, flawless. Uh, Tottenham has slipped up. Arsenal hasn't been flawless. Liverpool hasn't been flawless. So all the
Yeah,
teams at the top still need to kick into gear. And we're not
yeah,
sure where Chelsea is going to be by then. So for them, maybe top six, and maybe hope that one of those guys get tired. But if everyone had a bad start, I don't think we're going to have a bad finish.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So I'll say that's okay. Yeah, I agree with you in terms of saying maybe top six, because it looks like right now the top four in the Premier League. in no particular order, Spurs, Man City, Arsenal, Liverpool are the ones that are going to be running with it. But now you look at Aston Villa and Brighton, and now after these last 2 weeks, Chelsea all of a sudden look like a team that is serious, that is starting to find their groove. They've got the young boys sitting there. I mean, Cole Palmer, the guy who's just coming from Man City. First of all, Man City let that guy go. Obviously, Pep, they offered him a contract. He said, no, I don't want to stay here. I want to play. I want game time. He went to Chelsea and he's had the game time. And Chelsea have given him the reins. So it does look like they have woken up from their slumber a little bit. And it's about time. It's been, what, a year and a half or so of Chelsea just floundering and not having a real identity. But yeah, I agree with you. This top four might be, for now, a little bit of a stretch. Let's see what happens after Christmas or after New Year's, where they are. And then you can reassess. But this is the
Yeah.
world that we live in when we're covering football. We can change our opinions anytime, and then a 4-4 draw with the best team in the world comes out of nowhere from the team that is Norway. So the ball is round.
Yeah. Yeah.
But what would
And
you say? Yeah, but
they also have some players that need to come back from injury. Christopher Nkunku, which is the striker.
yeah,
So he got
yeah,
he just came in the summer and then he got injured. So
yeah,
I think when he comes back, it might be like a new signing, and maybe it'll solve some of the goal scoring problems. Um, and I think Ben Chilwell defensively they need to come back. So they have a few
yes, yes,
players that need to come back, and maybe they will give them the extra push
yes,
that they need. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, and Kunku will be coming back, I think, during the international break. So maybe by the time they start playing again after the international break, he might be in training. So there is that murmuring saying that he's about a week away or so. So let's see if they can take this momentum and guys don't get injured on international duty. Chelsea might be looking dangerous. But yet again, we've got, like, we always look at whenever these big teams play each other, you've got players from their old clubs versus their old clubs and this thing. So you look at Raheem Sterling at Chelsea against his old club. Cole Palmer, that I've mentioned already. Young guy. I think he's at about, what, how old is he? 19 or so? 19, 20? He's
Mm.
coming to his own. This is, I think, his fourth goal, although all of them are penalties. And then on the other side, you got Mateo Kovacic playing against his old club, his old Chelsea club. Who else was playing against Chelsea, his old club there? I can remember Kovacic. I can't remember who could have been the other one in the game that's playing against his old club. So you had all these guys rearing and ready to go, and Sterling played a blinder of a game. He looked like he was knocking on the door saying, England manager, hey, dude, you've forgotten me. I'm here as well.
Yeah.
So it was a good game. It was a good game. All these guys with
Yeah,
things
it
to prove.
was. Yeah, yeah, it was. It was a good game. But I mean, Kovacic came on in the second half. It was just maybe to assure the game. Yeah, Raheem Sterling, I think maybe it was more of you sold me. Um, thinking that I was no longer good enough because Haaland came. So I think that's what he wanted to
Yeah,
prove. Because last season, when Chelsea played Man City, they were in a worse off position. So this
yes,
time around, I think they had a bit of momentum and the team had a bit of togetherness. So I think he also wanted to
yeah,
prove a point to Pep. And as you said, for him to get the England call up because he missed
yeah.
the last one.
Yeah, yeah. And unfortunately, he still doesn't get the call up, but his young teammate playing next to him, Cole Palmer, does get the call up. So let's see if Sterling can keep pushing. The opportunities are running out. I mean, World Cup qualifiers are happening and Euros and all these things are coming along. So let's see if Sterling's performances can still keep up And if he can bring Chelsea back into the top four, there's no ways that Gareth Southgate will forget about him. But I mean,
Yeah,
this
Gareth
4-4
Southgate
draw,
can.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, Gareth Southgate
yeah,
can get him in, but I don't know if he starts. Because
yeah,
there's a few options up front, so he could go. But even Cole Palmer as well, he could go, but he might not play. So Raheem Sterling,
yeah,
he could also go, but then Watkins is also doing well. So yeah, he could take them all, but maybe not all of them will play. Um,
yeah,
because he's fallen down the pecking order a bit there.
yeah. No, that's true. That's true. Yeah, but he definitely proved himself this weekend to show people that yeah, he still got something to offer, and I'm happy for him. I'm happy for him. I think there was a bit of criticism, or not even criticism. I just think that when people see enough of a player, and we all saw that when he first moved to Chelsea, there wasn't that much fireworks happening, and he still looked a bit like he needed time to get used to the new team and everything. But yeah, last this weekend was very good, and also it was nice to see somebody taking it to Man City for once. They didn't give up. Haaland didn't have his own way the whole time. Yes, he scored 2 goals, but look at both goals. The first goal was a penalty with Cucurella holding on to him, trying to make sure he doesn't get to the ball. And the second goal, he literally had to slide the ball into the net with the
With his
defender on his
backside.
shoulder. So, yeah, and his arm was like centimeters from there. I would have laughed if they took that goal away and saying that it's handball when it's already crossed the line. That would have been so crazy.
Yeah. Ukukoyera reminds me of David Luiz.
Oh man! But I was happy as a Liverpool fan that Man City dropped points. So
Yes.
thank you, Chelsea, for doing all of world football a favor. Arsenal fans around the world, Spurs fans, even though they lost, and Liverpool fans, all thank you, Chelsea, for making Man City drop points. Because look at the top of the table, it is a three-horse race at the top. Man City, Liverpool, Arsenal, all on 27 points. I think it is. Is it 27 points? Yeah, at the top of the
Um,
table. So going into the international break, we
yeah,
are
Liverpool,
all
Arsenal,
neck and neck.
Liverpool 27, Arsenal 26, Tottenham
Uh-huh.
20. No, no, no. Yeah, 27,
Oh,
Liverpool and Arsenal, and Tottenham is on
yes,
26, and then Man
26.
City's on
Yeah,
28.
and City's on 28. Yes, yeah.
Yeah,
So one
it's
point.
tight.
So it is, yeah, 2 points between the top four. It's
Yeah.
crazy. And then Aston Villa down and so forth. So this is going to be tight. Now that we go into the international break, and you know how it goes, international break. Things can happen. People get injured. Players get tired. People are traveling all across the world. So who knows what will happen? And the form guide changes a little bit when the guys come back. So hopefully, international break is kind to the chasing pack, and we can move forward. But Nene, what do you think now? As we were talking about the log, that's going to bring us back into conversation about how the league's gone now. 12 games in, is the league shaping up the way you thought it was going to be? I know a lot of people didn't count Liverpool in the hunt as much as they are now because of what happened last season. But 12 games in, Man City only 1 point ahead of Liverpool and Arsenal. What is your take on the log as it stands now? The top four at the moment. Who surprised you? Who's looking good? What's your verdict?
I think Tottenham is the biggest surprise for me for this season. I
Okay.
didn't think that they would, start. Everyone was saying, "Oh, Harry Kane is no longer. What's going to happen?" And he also left quite late in the transfer window. So there was no time to plan
Yeah.
as to how they're gonna set up their attack going forward. But James Madison, um, someone who got relegated with Leicester last season, all of a sudden just rose to the occasion, and they never missed Harry Kane. So I think for me that's a surprise. I think the other guys we expected them there: Arsenal, Liverpool, um, Aston Villa. I think they're doing okay. Last season they were doing okay, but I think for me the biggest surprise so far is Tottenham.
All right, interesting. Okay, so actually, it's funny because I agree with you. Spurs would be my pick as well because wow, for the exact same point you're saying, Harry Kane having left right towards the end of the transfer window, they didn't have any time to really properly replace him or look for someone of a big money move. And look at that, Ange Ball that everyone is calling. So Spurs has spent what 2 game weeks at the top of the table. So they are also my surprise package. I'm looking at Aston Villa and saying, okay, top five, well done. Especially since they fell down so badly last season. After firing Steven Gerrard, they were looking very shaky, and then all of a sudden now they're in the top five. They're 3 points behind City. So Spurs is my surprise pick or the team that I'm impressed with. But you know what happens with Spurs, Nene. You know. Every year for the past, I don't know how many years, Spurs will play well up until February. And then they run out of steam. But anyway, we'll get to that conversation in February. We'll be talking about this in February, how Spurs have blown it and how they got tired, and then the big boys keep on running. So, but I'm also impressed with Arsenal. The fact that they were not just a one season wonder from last season. They learned from their mistakes, well, it seems have, by loading up in the team, buying new players, loading up in the midfield. Um, Kai Havertz, still the jury's out, but I'm impressed that Arsenal kept their run from last season and are still strong title contenders this season. So those are my the two London clubs, the two North London rivals. I'm surprised that you, as an Arsenal fan, was picking Spurs, but yeah, those are the two for me. But someone needs to knock Man City off their perch, man. We can't have Man City winning four league seasons in a row. We can't.
Yeah, I think for Man City, um, it's been happening too often where it's a two-horse race. So it's always who's gonna challenge Man City, who's gonna challenge Man City. There's like 20 teams in the league,
Yeah,
and I think if maybe Chelsea was at their best during the time when Man City was going head to head with Liverpool, maybe it could have swung another way. But I just think that this whole two-horse race thing had to come to an end. So
yeah,
yeah, Spurs might fall away in Feb or March, but as long as the gap between the top four is not like mad like last season
yeah,
and the season before, where there's
yeah,
like a 10 to 12 point gap between second and third, and then the top two are just, running away and everyone is just sitting back and watching. So it would be
yeah,
nice if they could hold
yeah,
on for as long as they can, and just make it interesting, Faith. Let it get to March, April, and it's still open for four teams or three teams to take it. Let it go down
yeah,
to
yeah. True.
that. Not like last season where it was down to two teams, and then the last 4 games or 5 games, Arsenal fell off, and then Man City was cruising for the last 4 or 5
Last four
games
games.
because they knew
Yeah,
that they had
yeah.
won it.
True.
So
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
I
But
think this.
it's been a while since we didn't know like that. The last time we had a 3 horse race or 4 horse race, it was when Leicester won the league. that I can remember. Because when Leicester won the league, it was Leicester, Arsenal, Spurs
Yeah.
running, and I think Man United were like in that fourth spot. I can't remember, or Chelsea, one of the two. But the last time we had a real multiple team horse race, three team horse race, was when Leicester won the league. So let's see. Right now, it's looking like it's four teams, and also even with those four teams, number five, six, and seven are still only 2 or 3 points behind. Fair,
Yeah.
it's only been 12 games. Fair, it's not even December yet, but let's see. We can hop on the fact that after 12 games, the top four are still very much right here, close to each other. One mess up this week, you go from first to fourth.
Yeah.
The week after that, you're sitting in second. So I'm liking this right now, and hopefully it can stay like this as long as possible.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's
Yeah,
let's hope it can. Especially going into the Christmas period where the games come in thick and fast, and
yeah,
we don't want a situation where you lose one game or two games, but you still keep your position. When you
yeah.
lose one
Mm,
game or two games, you must watch yourself fall two spots on the log, and then you're kicking yourself for the next game. It
yeah,
mustn't be
yeah.
like, oh, it's fine if I drop points. you know there's like a 4 point gap or a 5 point gap, so you can lose two games before you surrender your position. No, it must just be
Mm,
tight
mm,
all the way. And then we'll see in
yeah,
January who's gonna uh spend. But December is the best. Arsenal used to get
yeah,
beat
yeah,
in December, and come January we are out of the race, and then we're trying to get top four. Last season we pushed on in December into Jan. We had a good Jan, and we stayed in the race. So this year we just need to do the same. Liverpool needs to do the same.
yeah,
And
yeah,
funny enough, Spurs need to do the same. I think when
yeah,
City knows, even Arsenal, even all the teams in the top four, if they know that the gap is small, then there's no room for error, because you're gonna have your eye on Liverpool. That, like how you saying this weekend that Chelsea did us a favor, because now there's two or three teams that are waiting for a favor. Unlike
yeah.
before, where you like
It was just one.
it was
Yeah.
just one. Yeah.
It's just one, and that one is waiting for a favor of 4 points and not just 1 point. You see,
Yes.
now Chelsea did us a favor and we 1 point behind. In the past, it would be Liverpool or Arsenal waiting for a favor and still needing a game in hand to get level or something like that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, totally get what you're saying. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. Yeah. So, football fans, that's the Premier League. It's been 12 games in. Man City only leading by 1 point from Liverpool and Arsenal, who are tied, and Spurs 1 point back. And we've just finished discussing that 4-4 thriller at Stamford Bridge between Chelsea and Manchester City. That was one for the ages. If you haven't watched it, go and get the highlights package. You missed a fantastic game. But this has been the Extreme Team. I'm Quabs. He's Nene. Football Extreme. More coming. Nene, great to be with you. To the next
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
Football fans, see you in the next one.
Sharp.